minutes to get everything set up. Yeah, for everyone on YouTube, it's yeah, this live series is new for you guys. We've just opened it up on YouTube and Facebook. It does take a few seconds. Oh, I need to fill in the details. But yeah, it probably brings me into the next topic, what we're actually going to be talking about today, and it's going to be the main causes of gut health issues.
I must. I
So
must. I must improve my gut.
so we get so many different questions every day asking about acid reflux or Crohn's or bloating. And yeah, today I just wanted to go through and explain. Um,
Sorry.
mhm.
You need to go live on TikTok.
Oh yeah, just need to get the TikTok set up. So yeah, just bear with me and
One thing
we.
about me is
Oh,
that
no, that's not set up. Cool, but it looks like everything's working
me
now.
too.
So no, it's fine. Thanks.
That's more.
Oops. Okay, just give me a minute, and I'm gonna get rid of this. And hi. We will get smoother with this. We will get smoother. Just figuring out all the new tech. Okay, I'll do that. Cool. Bit wonky.
I can't see you on Instagram.
I'm not live yet on Instagram.
Oh, just YouTube.
Yeah, right now.
No, right.
A bit wonky on TikTok for some reason. This thing's not straight.
It's because your card holders look.
Oh, no, it's still not straight. Anyway, cool. All right, gonna get it started in a minute. Yeah, I'll do. Thank you. And let's go live on what's this one? This is Instagram. So we are going live. We are gonna go live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. We're gonna go live on TikTok. So if well, that's what I should have said at the start. I'm gonna start saying if you're on YouTube, you can just skip to 2 minutes in, and that'll probably make more sense. But cool. All right, I think we're live now. Jade, if you could just let me know if we are live. Everyone on TikTok we're live. YouTube we're good.
Oh, sorry, I'm watching
Oh,
the whole thing. That was 2 hours
yeah,
ago.
no, Facebook is still live and Instagram is live. Cool. Perfect. All right. Hey, everyone. Back for another session on a Wednesday afternoon or evening or morning, depending where you are. It's 1 a.m. No, half one where I am. So if
Woohoo!
I am flagging, then that's the reason why. Had an early, well, I say early, was up early for a flight today, so it's been a long day. But that doesn't stop the healing, that doesn't stop the knowledge. So we are still here to deliver, as always. Today's session, I'm just gonna get my, there is it. Cool. Today's session, we're going to be talking about, something that I get DMs about every single day. Whenever I do a consultation with people, it's one of the number one questions that get asked. And I want to break down why people are experiencing gut health issues. If I can just see where I sent it. Yeah, so I want to break down why people experience gut health issues and specifically like the number one causes that I see, and then just breaking down all the different causes as well by popularity. So, if I've started talking and you're thinking I've got gut health issues, but he hasn't covered my issue yet, then stick around because we will get to it. I am sure, if you have bloating, if you have digestive health issues, if you have acid reflux, if you have yeah, I mean, the list goes on. But if you have any of those issues, I'm pretty sure we'll get it covered in today's session. So stick around, it's going to be a good one. We're in the Black Friday season now as well, so discounts coming in. So we are going to be doing a discount for today's live as well. So stick around for when that gets dropped. Jade will just let me know when it's ready, and we'll let you guys have that for everyone on TikTok. That will be auto applied to the prices for everyone that is not based in the UK on TikTok. So if you're American or wherever on TikTok, then you can go to the website. If you're on YouTube, you can go to the website. If you're on Instagram, you can go to the website. If you're on Facebook, you can go to the website. Special welcome to everyone that's joining from Facebook and YouTube because this is new for you guys. So welcome to the community. We're spread across all the different platforms, but the way it usually works, we'll talk about a health topic for about 20 to 30 minutes. and then open it up for some Q&A, and then yeah, go just explain the different health issues, what's causing it, and what herbs you can use to help your symptoms. Sort of cool comment. Yeah, I'm terrible with the name, so forgive me.
AXA.
AXA. CMOS completely healed my eczema using it internally and topically. Made it worse, but it made it worse before better. So yeah, that's a really important point. I'm glad to hear the CMOS really helped, and that is something that's so important with natural herbs. The pathway isn't always just straight up; it can be down before it gets better, and that's because natural herbs are regulators. They're not just blind fixes. They're not blind increases. They're not blind reducers. They are regulators, and as part of that regulation, sometimes there's a bit of volatility in getting back to the mean. So that's why it can go a bit worse before it gets better again. And particularly depends what the issue is and how the herb is working to resolve that issue. But yeah, in terms of just getting a bit more housekeeping out of the way, Jade will be doing her best to monitor all the comments, and that will be across all platforms. So
I can actually join from my phone now
on,
instead of just two
oh, because you have a
iPads.
phone now. Yeah,
Yeah,
fantastic.
I have a
So
phone
yeah.
now.
So Jade will be on TikTok as JD's Wardrobe. She'll be on Instagram
As Jade
as Jade.
today.
So you'll be
Yes.
hearing from Jade as Jade. And yeah, for YouTube comments, you'll be keeping an eye out on that. I should be able to see those as well. But yeah, get those questions in if you do have any questions, and I will be answering those throughout the session. Yes, I'm in less luxurious accommodation today. Airbnb didn't do, the pictures didn't quite do it justice. Well, so they
Yeah.
did do it justice, more than justice. Didn't do us justice.
We entered
um,
through a laundrette.
yeah, you have to walk through a laundrette, take your shoes off, wheel the suitcases through, then take it up 4 flights of stairs
No elevator.
with no
No
elevator to
lift.
take it into this very fragrancy smelling apartment. And yeah, let's just say I'm looking forward to moving on. But yeah, okay, let's get into it.
It's so funny because like the background just looks like
Yeah,
I don't
it's a bit
really
sad,
know.
doesn't it? Um, okay, have we? Is there any other housekeeping points to get out of the way? I don't think so.
Yeah,
Cool.
we're good.
All right. So the first looks like Andy Off's ready to get
Yeah, he
started. So
doesn't know what he's
he
talking
doesn't want to
about.
hear no Thailand talk. He just wants to get straight into it. So I will oblige. Okay. So first thing that I see as the number one cause in terms of people experiencing, I'll be specific and say acid reflux because this one is, well, constipation or diarrhea as well. It can cause both. And it is vagus nerve inflammation. We've done a whole live before talking specifically about the vagus nerve, talking about all its different functions in terms of swallowing, coughing, releasing the gastric juices, peristalsis, shortness of breath, headaches, brain fog, migraines. One of the most important nerves in the body, and it regulates your parasympathetic nervous system. And a lot of people will not even, well, they will have vagus nerve issues and not even know about it because it doesn't really get diagnosed. It will get diagnosed as 10 other things before you get told you've got a vagus nerve issue. Also, if you were affected badly by, the vid, or I don't even know if they still ban you for saying it, but you know what I'm talking about. If you were affected badly by that, then that's another telltale sign that you have an inflamed vagus nerve. If you struggle to sleep, if you get migraines. But yeah, as we're talking about as it pertains to digestive health, if you get acid reflux and it's not a case of you're eating a horrible diet or it just seems a bit out of place, it could be a bit random, then it very may well be vagus nerve inflammation because one of the vagus nerve's job is to, it controls all the autonomics or all the automatic systems in your body, and releasing your gastric juices into your stomach is one of those things. So the strength of your gastric juices comes from the liver and the enzymes there, but in terms of how much gets released, that comes from the vagus nerve. So when we're talking about heartburn, acid reflux, GERD, these can be vagus nerve issues simply because your vagus nerve is inflamed. Your vagus nerve is under attack from viral neurotoxins. Your vagus nerve is under attack from heavy metals. It's dysregulated and it can be a bit out of whack. Sometimes it's not releasing enough gastric juices and you'll feel sluggish and bloated because food isn't being broken down as quick as it should be. And other times it's going to release the floodgates and all of the gastric juices come in. And your stomach is just a bag with liquid in it. And when there's too many juices, it can bubble up, bubble up, bubble up, go through the esophageal sphincter and it can go back up through to the throat. And that can cause, yeah, you can get, I guess, heartburn would be what you'd call it. You can get a burning feeling in the esophagus as well. And that happens to a lot of people. Um, yeah, I'll probably go through each solution as I get there, otherwise it might be quite long. And I'll just do a quick recap at the end for people that have joined midway through. I've seen your question about low iron, iron me. So yeah, stick around for the Q&A. I can do a bit more of a deeper dive into iron. If you want the short answer, it's going to be spirulina, it's going to be donquay, it's going to be a blood builder kit, but I can explain why once we get into the Q&A session. But yeah, back to the vagus nerve. If you have an inflamed vagus nerve, if you have any of those symptoms that I just spoke about, then what I would recommend would be herbs that specifically to support the vagus nerve. And that would be lion's mane and brahmi. Now, you'll hear a lot about adaptogenic herbs. You'll hear a lot about, maca or rhodiola rosé, ashwagandha. There's loads of them. But the reasons why I say lion's mane and ashwagandha specifically for the vagus nerve is because, well, they're the best options for the vagus nerve. There's not many other ways I can put it. They're potent, they're effective, they have no real side effects, they don't mess up your your other hormones, and they're fantastic. Those are the ones I'd recommend. If you have a fungal infection like thrush or athlete's foot or something like that, then I would say brahmi over lion's mane, but both good options. You can also do a load of holistic things like deep breathing, earthing, rebounding, skipping, running. All of these things will help your vagus nerve as well. As I said, we have made a whole hour and a half live talking about the vagus nerve, and that will be down in the page. It should be, you should be able to find it by just looking through and looking for the thumbnail. But yeah, that is what I'd recommend as the most common reason why people are experiencing heartburn. Kind of separate to that, but a lot of people will also experience heartburn. This isn't in my top 10, but just as a side note to the vagus nerve. But a lot of people will have a hiatus or hiatal hernia. And that is basically where your stomach pushes up through your diaphragm into your esophagus, and that can cause heartburn as well. Oftentimes it doesn't really get diagnosed. They don't really give you a treatment for it, other than the same stuff they would give you for heartburn. So they'll give you antacids, they might give you a PPI, so that's a proton pump inhibitor. Essentially medications designed to weaken your stomach acid, to cool it down. I'll explain after this why you shouldn't be doing that. But yeah, that's what they'll recommend if you do have a hiatal hernia, and if it's severe, they may offer surgery. But generally, if you have got that, that is a real physical thing that's actually causing your heartburn, and that's different. So it's good to know that. But in most cases, that's not the case. Okay, the second most common thing, and I say second tenuously because it's probably evens in terms of these top two reasons. And if you are someone who has digestive issues, and that could be acid reflux, heartburn, constipation, diarrhea, Crohn's, bloating, or anything, then you want to look at this one because this probably applies to you again. And the reason it's a sluggish liver. And I'll explain a few kind of breakdown points as to why it can contribute. But a sluggish. Oh, sorry, Jade, is a discount ready?
It's coming.
Oh, okay, cool. Just because I'm talking about the
Sorry,
solutions
the
as
one for Shopify, yes. The TikTok I'm doing.
Oh, okay. So yeah, just to let everyone know, because I'll be talking about the solutions for each of these as I'm going through them, so it makes sense to have the discount code running. So yeah, let's launch the discount code. It is, pardon.
I'm linking it now.
Okay, cool. So for everyone on the website, looking to move through the website, so anyone not in the UK on TikTok, then you can, not on TikTok, not in the UK, then you can use code Krabby20, given that's where we are. So KRABI, I think
Can you pin
Jade,
it?
yes, I can pin it.
Oh, technically you can type it and pin it.
It's,
Oh,
yeah, true. It's just Krabby20, isn't it?
yeah.
For
20% of time away.
sorry, I'm gonna have to type it. See, Jade usually does this, and now I have to presenting and typing, not my forte. Krabby20 for 20% off website. Okay, cool. And I am gonna pin that. Oh, Jade already had pinned it or commented it. I'll pin Jade's comment. Cool. And I'll pin my comment. Okay, cool. So Krabby20, and you can use that on the website to get 20% off. And that applies to all codes. That applies to consultations with me. That applies to diet reviews with me. That applies to our healing kits. Any of the herbs I'm going to be talking about, you can use that discount code, and I recommend you do. That's what it's there for. It's to say thank you for joining us during the live. As they say, you could be anywhere in the world right now, and you're right here with me. So thank you, appreciate it, and that's what that 20% off is for. Okay. Sorry, one sec. Thanks. Okay. So we're talking about the liver, sluggish liver. So the reason you want to be hyper aware of a sluggish liver is because the liver plays so many different roles in your digestive processes. It is responsible for your bile. It is responsible for your stomach acid, your stomach glands in terms of the strength of the stomach acid you receive. It's responsible for secreting enzymes to help you break down sugar. It's responsible for releasing enzymes that help going into the next stage in the small intestine. The liver is responsible for storing toxins as well, filtering toxins, I should say. The liver is responsible for processing nutrients. The liver has over 2,000 jobs in the body, and whenever we're looking at any issue, we need to come back to the liver. So, when we're talking about digestion, we need to break it down from the liver's perspective again. Because if you have a sluggish liver, if you have fatty liver, if you have non-alcoholic fatty liver, all of these things are going to contribute to a sluggish digestion. And yeah, so the two main points would be weak bile, and then as a result of that, or as an extension of that, it messes up your stomach acid. And you've got to think about it like this. You know, when food comes in, your body is designed to take the useful parts out and get rid of everything else. So your stomach acid is the first line of defense. It's your moat. It's your moat that protects your queen in the castle, and basically you want your moat to be nice and deep and difficult for pathogens to get past. You don't want them to be able to build a bridge over your moat. You don't want them to be able to swim through your moat. You don't want them to be able to dive through your moat. You want them to die as soon as they enter your moat. That's what you want. You want your stomach acid hot. You want your stomach acid burning, and you want your stomach acid killing pathogens. And then you want it to you kind of want the good nutrients to have a protective film around it, but so by the time it gets to the stomach acid, that protective film's nicely burned off, and then you can go and use and welcome the good nutrients into your castle walls. That's what you want to happen. However, when that process breaks down and your stomach acid is too weak, then anyone can get through your moat, not just the good guys. And then also you need to so once you go through the stomach acid, then you go through the duodenum. At that stage, that's where the bile comes in. The bile is to break down fat. So your bile is your, security guard at the door. And as soon as a pathogen comes in to try and get entry, it says, "Not today, mate. Not coming in. Sorry, don't like your shoes. Not coming in." That's what that bile is supposed to do. And the good guys, it says, vitamin C, lovely, welcome, come on in. Good protein, come on in. Yes, that's what's supposed to happen. However, when your bile is not strong enough because your liver is compromised, you don't have the door staff and the door's wide open and it lets anyone in. Then the streptococcus can come through, the E. coli can come through, the Epstein-Barr virus can come through, and they have their own little party in there. You know, they build their own houses, they have their protective lines, they stay out of sight, and they cause problems. They cause noise, they cause damage, they cause rubbish. All of the typical ASBO behavior that you would expect, and that's what we don't want. So we need our stomach acid nice and strong. That's our protective moat. We need our bile nice and strong. That's our door security. We need our intestines nice and alkaline. Our small intestines nice and alkaline. That keeps our streets clean. And then we need our large colon working efficiently as well, because that's our rubbish crew inside our city walls. We need to make sure the rubbish is getting out of there. Otherwise, you get backed up, you get stinky streets, you get angry residents, and then you get problems, and that's what can happen as well. So, breaking that down, how do we how do we the bouncer at the club. It's the bouncer at the club. It's the bouncer at the club. So how do we? So yeah, how do we get our moat nice and strong? How do we make sure our moat is burning anyone that doesn't have the right shoes
Where's
on
that comment?
Instagram? That
Oh,
was
right,
Kali
yeah, yeah.
Sama. Yeah, how do we make sure our moat is burning anyone that doesn't have the right shoes on? We need to be eating foods that stimulate gastric juices. We need to be eating foods that stimulate acidity in your stomach acid. It's stomach acid for a reason. We want it acidic. We want it hot. The pH of your stomach acid should be about 2. That's what we want it, 2 to 3. I know we speak a lot about alkaline foods all the time, alkaline, 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 but we do need acidity in the right places. We want our stomach acid to be acidic. We want our large intestine to be acidic. We want the vagina to be acidic. We want our skin to be acidic. These are all acidic microbiomes, and by bluntly just introducing alkalinity, 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 you can mess that up. Now, when we're talking about stomach acid, the good thing is the foods that get recognized as alkalizers, which would be the broccolis, the butterfly pea flowers, the sea mosses, all these great foods, they also make the stomach acid more hot. They're alkaline where they need to be, and they're also acidic where they need to be, or they contribute to the acidity. Or even within the stomach, you do have alkaline tissues, so the acid is acidic, but the mucilage, the stomach lining itself, or the protective mucosive layer on the stomach lining is actually alkaline. So the sea moss will help the mucosive layer, the alkaline layer. Um, the butterfly pea flower will help the mucosive layer. Something like a lime juice or a lemon juice, and that's just simple as sprinkling some lemon water in there, then that is going to help the acidity of your stomach. That citric acid helps improve the acidity of your stomach, and then when you metabolize that, it helps to improve the alkalinity of your small intestine. So fantastic food across the board, and it also stimulates bile. So we're talking green leafy vegetables, we're talking moringa, which is available on the site. We're talking sea moss, we're talking black seed oil. These are all celery juice. Did I say broccoli already? Green leafy vegetables. These are all really good options to get your stomach acid nice and hot. And then when we move down into the bile, there's a few herbs we can use again. So the green leafy vegetables are fantastic. Those cruciferous vegetables, that keeps your bouncer nice and well trained. You can also use moringa seeds, if I didn't already say that one. Milk thistle is a fantastic option that cleanses the liver comprehensively, and it also helps to produce that bile. You can also use dandelion leaf. Dandelion leaf is a fantastic herb for that. And the most effective herb, the most effective herb, and this isn't actually one that we sell, but I do strongly recommend it, it would be artichoke leaf. And if you don't have the extract, if you don't have a tincture, you can just eat more artichoke in salads, in your food, in your daily goings on. If you are someone that is, if you feel bloated whenever you eat something fatty, you eat bloated every time you eat chicken or steak or meat, you eat bloated when you eat butter, you feel bloated when you eat butter, or if you eat something too sweet, you have an adverse reaction, then I would recommend get that artichoke into your diet. That's going to help improve your bile production, moringa as well.
Do you mind pausing? Do you have a couple of questions come through?
Yeah, we can. Does RSIP Digital have a question? I've seen them said, please answer today, it's my birthday.
What if my ex bubbled me up? My ex is more sour than my stomach acid.
Sorry, I don't. Is that a joke?
I don't know. I think
What if my ex bubble me up? I don't know if that's a joke.
Um,
Okay.
so, Andy Off
hmm
asked, using only herbs helps with symptoms. How about the root cause?
Um, yeah, so we're going through the root causes. So as I said, I'm going to break down all 10. Oh, there's 12 actually. So we'll see how far we get. We're only on two so far. But yeah, I spoke about the vagus nerve. The herbs help to. Okay, so when we're talking about the vagus nerve, it's from heavy metals, it's from viral neurotoxins. That's the shingles, Epstein-Barr, and heavy metals. Those are the three main things that will degrade the vagus nerve. So your symptoms may not always be acid reflux, but if it is that, and you also have some of the other vagus nerve symptoms, then I would recommend. Well, the herbs I recommended, the brahmi, the lion's mane, they actually help to rebuild the vagus nerve. They rebuild its myelin sheaths. They protect the vagus nerve. In terms of the root cause, if it was heavy metals, you'd want a heavy metal cleanser like spirulina. If it's from viral neurotoxins, then you'd want to use an antiviral like oil of oregano, or black seed oil, or licorice root. And we actually have an antiviral kit on TikTok, or an anti-herpes kit, which is the best antiviral kit. So you can get that from the website as well. So yeah, it depends kind of, well, it doesn't depend. There's obviously the root cause, which I guess I'm more talking about the secondary cause here. Where the vagus nerve would be the secondary cause, but the root cause of your stomach problems. When we're talking about the liver, it's going to be diet. Diet is the best way to heal the liver, heal the root cause. Unless you're talking like a hepatitis virus that can cause chronic liver issues, then again, that would be the antiviral kit or anti-herpes kit I would recommend for that. And
Which is
then
linked on TikTok Shop.
which is linked on TikTok Shop. Thank you, Jade, with 20% off.
20%
With
off.
20% off, fantastic. And then you can also use milk thistle as well. Milk thistle contains silymarin. It's the only compound in the world that will heal a damaged liver, so or heal liver cells. So yeah, if we're talking root causes, we can do that. If we're talking to, I mean, this live was more focused on the specific stomach symptoms. But yeah, if we want to go into the root cause, then yeah, we can definitely do that. Andy off, I saw your question, or marshmallow root. So marshmallow root,
Slippery elm and marshmallow root. Is also one.
yeah, two good options in terms of if you have constipation, because they add good soluble fiber to help move things along. In terms of healing, they're not really going to be doing much of that. They're just support herbs to help the symptoms, is what I would say about marshmallow and slippery elm. And then Jocelyn, where can I purchase them in Kenya? We deliver worldwide, so they are available in Kenya. If you go to the website, we do deliver to Kenya. Okay. Any more questions at this stage?
There are questions about other like um, chronic conditions, so we'll get to them.
Okay. What foods stimulate stomach acids? I think I've answered that one. Using herbs only, herbs simply. Okay, cool. Perfect. Yeah, just stop me if there's more questions, Jade. Does it matter on blood types? Not particularly. There are obviously some blood type specific issues, but nothing that I'm talking about today is particularly affected.
Okay, thanks for going through. What's good for reflux?
Reflux, I'll be explaining that throughout the live,
Okay.
so yeah, we're covering that.
Low iron?
I'll say that for Q&A after.
Okay.
Okay. Um, cool. Let's go to the third reason that most people are suffering from chronic constipation or gut issues. And
Oh, must have served people. You're over 100 on TikTok.
oh wow. Cool. That would be let's get my notes. Yeah. So the third reason would be H. pylori. Now, H. pylori is a bacteria. It's not a parasite. A lot of people say it's a parasite. It is a bacteria, and I'm going to explain specifically how it works, and I'm going to tell you how to knock down the H. pylori as well. So when we're talking H. pylori, we need to understand again what it's doing and why it's causing the discomfort, the symptoms, and the issues that people experience when they get hit with a H. pylori diagnosis, or if they've had a H. pylori diagnosis in the past and don't get Sorry, they've been told it's gone away, but then the symptoms come back a few months later or a few years later in some cases. And how can that be the case? I did the test and it was gone, they say. So, what happens with H. pylori? So, H. pylori is a bacteria. About 50% of the population are diagnosed with it, more than that have it. But essentially, what it does, it tries to colonize your stomach. It tries to take over your stomach. And it has a few different techniques in terms of how it does that. Primarily, it will release a catalyst or an enzyme called urease into the stomach, and that basically weakens your stomach acid. It creates ammonia in the stomach, and you might have heard of ammonia before. It's that smelly chemical, and it creates leaky gut. So when you have that ammonia, it also creates alkalinity in the stomach acid. And if you remember, we want the stomach acid to be nice and hot. Now, what that alkalinity does, it reduces the friction or the contrast between the stomach acid and the mucosive lining. Now, that is very unhelpful because when you have the friction between the stomach acid and the mucosive lining, it means the mucosive lining becomes less or more less viscous, in fact. And you want it to be nice and viscous, so it's sticky. When it becomes less sticky, now the H. pylori can chew through that mucosive lining. It produces more enzymes to help it chew through or corkscrew through, and then it can get through to the stomach lining. Now, your stomach lining is the kind of the last line of protection. You don't want your stomach lining to be exposed to the acids. That's why you have the mucosive layer. But when that mucosive layer breaks down, acid can start to hit the stomach lining. The H. pylori is continuing to chew through, and then you can start to get stomach ulcers. Then that ammonia starts to leak through and can get leaky gut, and that's how that happens. So there's a few things we can do and then when you get the ammonia that weakens the acidity of the stomach acid as well, that then creates an environment where more bacteria can come through. It's almost like the H. pylori. If we go back to the example of, your body is your castle and the stomach acid is your moat there to protect you. What the H. pylori does, it sneakily comes in and it sneakily builds a bridge behind when not outside of the views of the camera. It sneakily builds a bridge that it can get through and hide behind the corner, and then all the other pathogens can come through and take the same bridge through, and it cripples your defenses in terms of being able to fight these pathogens. Now, the H. pylori can then sit and hide behind the mucosive layer and stay undetected. Now, when you do a breath test, it comes back clear. Oh, no H. pylori. When you do a stool test, no H. pylori. When you do a blood test, no H. pylori. The H. pylori is still there. Now, when you come back a few months later because the H. pylori gets hungry or your stomach acid is re-regulated and it needs to go back and ammoniarize your system again, then H. pylori is in there and you get the same digestive issues. So, to knock down the H. pylori, we need to use sulforaphane. Now, sulforaphane is what is found in cruciferous vegetables. It's in moringa seeds. It's in mustard seeds as well. Sulforaphane is one of the best defenses against H. pylori because it inhibits H. pylori's ability to release urease. So then it stops that ammonia production from happening. It also directly combats the H. pylori bacteria itself. So it knocks it down. It also protects your mucosive lining. So it does all of these three things to stop the H. pylori at source and actually knock it down. You can also knock the H. pylori down below your pylori sphincter, and then it can also come back up through the duodenum when you have other bacteria there as well. So it's a pretty pesky bacteria and difficult to get rid of. It's also antibiotic resistant, and most people will get diagnosed with H. pylori and then take the antibiotics 3-4 rounds. All they're doing is just killing their gut flora because the H. pylori is resistant to the antibiotics. Sandisha, just seen your message. Thank you for joining from Guyana. Appreciate that. I'm not sure what time it is there. Probably pretty early, I'm guessing, in Guyana. Yeah. So no, I appreciate you joining. Sorry, I kind of missed some of the Facebook questions. Is it? Oh yeah, because I'm looking at the UK time. That makes sense.
Someone asked about Candida, SIBO, IBS, gastritis. Help.
Candida, thank you. Candida, SIBO, IBS, I need tissue. Candida SIBO,
Tissue.
yes please. Candida SIBO, IBS, gastritis.
Hold on.
Let's save that one for the. Actually, no, we'll just cover it now. So Candida, thank you. Candida comes in to neutralize acidity. So maybe I'll kind of touch on that again. But generally, Candida is not the problem. It comes in to neutralize acidity. SIBO is a streptococcus issue. There's lots of bacteria that are there that get the blame, but it's fundamentally a streptococcus issue, and that attracts the other bacteria to the side. IBS is a collection of symptoms that, when can't be explained, get diagnosed as IBS. IBS isn't a thing in and to itself. It's not a new condition. It's just a description of a set of existing symptoms. What the problem there in those cases would be, and streptococcus is probably the likely offender if you've got SIBO, then the streptococcus, as I kind of previously explained, it somehow managed to get through your moat. It's climbed over the wall, or it's swum through, or it's somehow gotten through your moat. Then the bouncers mistakenly let it through the doors, and the streptococcus has found a nice little house that it can sit in behind concrete steel walls. So no matter what your immune system is doing, your immune system is the police of your town. The immune system can bang on that streptococcus's door, and it just doesn't answer, and it can't get in. And then every now and again, the streptococcus will sneak out at night and leave a trail of destruction. That's what's happening inside the body. And then all the police, the next day, once the streptococcus has done its damage, the police comes in, the fire brigade come in, because it's burned something down as well, the streptococcus in its wrath, and the local community forces come in. So all these different helpers come in, and then when you look at it and you're like, oh, what, the police are here, oh, the this are here, and then you say, oh, well, it must be they're all contributing to the problem. The police are here for the problem, the fire brigades are the problem. Meanwhile, the streptococcus is long gone. And it's the exact same thing with the SIBO, where you have, it's called intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So all of the different parties that have come to the scene to try and offset the damage from the strep are getting blamed for the condition, but actually it's the strep. And it's the strep hiding behind layers of fat. So again, we need to strengthen the bile to get rid of the fat in the intestines. We need to also manage the acidity in the system, and we also need to increase our stomach acid. So all of the same advice I've been given would apply here. You can also use our gut balance bundle. So that includes the sea moss, that includes the black seed oil, and that includes the moringa seeds. And that they're all effective in going after streptococcus. You can also include a bit of cayenne pepper in your food. You can also include asparagus. Start eating asparagus. Lettuce is helpful. Green leafy vegetables are helpful. Papaya is helpful. All of these foods help to go after strep. Okay. Deanne, appreciate you enjoying the analogies. I do try and come up with them off the cuff, so they might not always land, but appreciate when they do. Okay, let's move on. So it's discussed H. pylori. So he said sulforaphane was really good for that. Celery juice is also really good for that. Moringa keeps coming up. When we're talking gut health, just look out for how many times moringa comes up, and that's why I always recommend it when we're talking about gut health, whether that's acid reflux, constipation, diarrhea. Whatever the case may be. Moringa is one of the best things you can use, and that should be available on TikTok Shop as well if you want to grab that one there. But it's also on the website. And then I guess just for everyone who's kind of joined a bit later, or for everyone who wasn't here at the start, today we're discussing all of the common problems of gut health issues. So whether that is acid reflux, bloating, constipation, you name it. We're going through and I'm explaining, and I'm doing it in order of how often I see it. So there'll be some things for people that were here since the start. You're thinking, oh, did you not mention that yet? It's because it's not often the cause. It's actually something else. We've also got a 20% off discount code to say thank you for being here and listening to the information. So you can use code Krabi20, so KRABI 20. That applies on the website, and you can also use that on TikTok Shop as well, and you can get 20% off. Okay, let's keep it moving. All right, so the next main issue, and I've kind of touched around it a few times, it's more of a secondary cause as opposed to the main thing. But pH dysregulation. pH dysregulation is a major issue for so many people. Everyone pretty much is dealing with this to some extent, unless your diet is perfect, which I do see sometimes. Mine definitely isn't. But yeah, pH dysregulation is a massive issue, whether that's pH dysregulation in the stomach acid, dysregulation in the small intestine, the large intestine. Most people are dealing with too many acids in their system, too many acids, whether that is from fried foods, whether that is from sorry, not even emulsifiers, whether that is from fried foods, whether that is from too much meat, red meat, pork. A lot of people eating pork. Too much, even deep fried vegetables. You see that a lot, especially in the East Asian diet. A lot of deep fried vegetables. Too much oil if we're talking African diets, a lot of oil in those African diets, and I see a lot of women speaks with a lot of women dealing with fibroids in the African diet as well as a result of that. In the Caribbean diet, then yeah, we have way too much hard food, which acidifies all those starches. I mean, the hard food isn't so bad because it's a root vegetable and it tends to be boiled or steamed rather than say deep fried. So things like steam yam, steamed sweet potato, steamed plantain, all those good foods, fantastic. But when you're talking about fried dumpling, you're talking about like cornmeal porridge. If you're talking about fried chicken, jerk chicken, all of these are highly acidifying foods. Even the rice and peas acidifying. So yeah, I mean, it's not to pick apart any individual cuisine or any culture's
Sounds like
diet. No, anyone can get it. They're all as bad as each other's for the most part. Or they all have their bad sides of it, and they all have their good sides and lots of great foods as well. So, but the point is, most people are indulging in the acidifying side of their diet. Yeah, most people are. Even if we're talking like a more South Asian diet, where it's more curry based, or if it's lots of rices, lots of gluten, in terms of roti or
breads.
sorry.
Breads,
Yeah,
yeah.
breads. Even if we're moving to more Middle Eastern, lots of bread, lots of protein. So, yeah, no, it's not to discriminate against anyone in particular, but there's lots of acidifying foods in the diet. So, I mean, kind of in going through the different diets, I've explained the main sources of acidifying foods. So basically, you just want to the simplest trick in terms of reducing acidity is fruits and vegetables. Green leafy vegetables are the best. Colorful fruits are the best. Colorful vegetables are the best. So, if you can find purple anything, so beetroot, onion, purple yam, purple cabbage, these are all really good foods. And anything deep and green, so sprouts, broccoli, lettuce, all really good. Lettuce less. I guess lettuce is less deep green, maybe more it's tip of my tongue. Asparagus would be a good option. Um, and then yeah, all the fruits are good fruits. So yeah, pH dysregulation, and then you can. Well, I'll touch on this one actually another time. So in terms of the best herbs to help regulate your pH or bring it back into balance, what I would most recommend would be butterfly pea flower. Butterfly pea flower is a beautiful blue tea, and it is one of the most antioxidant rich plants on the planet. Contains 13,000 times more antioxidants than lemons. It's got more antioxidants than matcha, more antioxidants than green tea, more antioxidants than coffee. It's fantastic. I would recommend butterfly blue tea as the best way to alkalize your system. Sea moss is another fantastic way to alkalize your system as well. And the reason being, it's so rich in ash minerals. So the alkalizing side of mineral chemistry. That's what the shilajit does. That's what the sea moss does. That's what the moringa does. These are all highly alkalizing foods and help bring your acidity back to where it's supposed to be. Okay, Sandisha, I saw you said I'm having the same issue with oily food. I'm assuming you're picking back on what I was saying about the acidification. Yeah, the oily food is a big problem for a lot of people, and there's no like healthy oil to fry food in. The best thing is to just use less of it. Um, and cut down where you can. You know, cooking your own food is a great way to do that. If you're not cooking much of your own food, it's difficult. I'd say just eat more salads because there's not much oil in salads. If there doesn't need to be any. Um, but yeah, okay. Moving on.
Someone asked, should you have lemon tea before or after food?
Before, after, during, lemon tea. Oh, sorry, tea. I guess it's the same as lemon water functionally.
Mm.
I would say with lemon water, you want to be that can just be your main source of hydration. It doesn't need to kind of, oh, I get my 1 cup of lemon water in for the day. I would say just have a jug of lemon, cucumber, mint, and that should just be your regular hydration or coconut water. If you can add electricity to your water, that's going to be a much better way to hydrate yourself from a mineral perspective. If you can, yeah, add, yeah, cucumber, lemon, lime, like I say, coconut water is a great option if you have access to it. These are all fantastic ways to hydrate your body, and I wouldn't be concerned about when's the best time to drink it because any time is a good time. Okay.
Someone asked, do you have a clinic to do face-to-face appointments?
We do not have a clinic. We're actually traveling right now, so we're mobile. But we do have, well, we don't have a clinic in London either. We actually find it more efficient and easier, and we can reach so many more people by doing everything online. So we do online consultations. They are all with me directly. We do also have diet reviews as well. So we do diet reviews. That's a new service we've just launched. So that is where you can send through everything you eat, a food plan, and then we can kind of traffic light system based on your symptoms and tell you what to avoid and why you should be avoiding it and why you should be eating certain foods as well. So that's another service we've just launched. So yeah, we're still doing the consultations, or I'm still doing the consultations whilst we're traveling. So yeah, you can definitely still book that. That's available on the website. You can also use the discount code on that as well, which is
Crabby 20.
Krabby20. And all of that is on the consultations page. So if you go to the website, magictreesuperfoods.co.uk, you can go to the menu and you'll see the consultations tab, and all of the information is there. And if you have any questions on kind of which plan or which service is best for you, then you can just message on the chat function and we can get that sorted. Um, me, I know you have asked about the iron, so that is still there. And we've got a few more to get through before we get into, well, I suppose we're kind of doing the Q&A as we go, but I will answer that one.
Mhm.
So, pH, where we done that one? So strep. Now, we've kind of touched on strep in terms of being the root cause of SIBO. We can touch on strep as being another contributor to bloating because it can sit in the duodenum, like I said, and release gases to make your stomach acid or moat weaker as well, and that can cause it to bubble over and cause acid reflux. But strep is a big one, and that can be the same strep that you caught as a child as strep throat. Could have been if you had pneumonia as a child, streptococcus pneumonia, if you had bronchitis, if you had acne. These are all signals that you have strep in your system, and that strep is persistent and it loves to just occupy this whole space here, from the throat to the sinuses to the chest to the airways to the stomach to the intestines to the colon. It just loves that whole tract. So yeah, we've kind of spoken about strep already, and I guess in nature of that, EBV and shingles. So Epstein-Barr virus and shingles are two more major causes of Epstein-Barr virus, sorry, of gut health issues. And the reason they kind of manifest themselves as gut health issues is because Epstein-Barr virus can go through a process called molecular mimicry. And with that molecular mimicry, it can actually replicate your intestinal tissue. So when you have the virus cell there, it releases the antigens, and your body mistakes those antigens for healthy stomach cells, tissues, and it can attack your own stomach, and that can be the cause of Crohn's. With the shingles virus, that can be the cause of colitis. So for that, I would recommend our anti-herpes kit because those are two herpetic viruses that manifest themselves that way. They can also be attacking the vagus nerve, which we spoke about at the top of the session and was talking about the vagus nerve. So yeah, for those two viruses, the anti-herpes kit is what I would recommend most, and we do see really good success with that. Um, okay, I'm taking. All right. All right. So where are we now? It's number 7. I'm gonna try and get through these ones a bit quicker, and just so we can get to the Q&A, because I know I've been talking for about how long I don't even know how long I've been talking for. About 40 minutes, maybe. So yes, the next one, 48 minutes. Okay. So the next one I wanted to. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
No. The next one I wanted to talk about was food poisoning. Now, a lot of people get food poisoning and you can get food poisoning for months. You know, a lot of people will say, I had food poisoning 2 weeks ago and I was vomiting and diarrhea, and then 2 weeks later I'm still vomiting. Then I was fine, and then now I'm vomiting and diarrhea, and again I'm like, well, I haven't eaten anything too risky. It's like, okay. And we need to understand food poisoning can be a chronic issue. If you have bad food poisoning, particularly to E. coli or Staphylococcus or Streptococcus, if you have bad food poisoning, that can linger in the system and create a chronic issue. And then every time you have a reoccurrence of that a reoccurrence of exposure to that toxin. So even if it's an acute amount of E. coli that your immune system or your stomach acid would normally burn or you would normally be able to deal with, you can actually be a lot more susceptible to those bacterias. And a lot of people who actually end up with appendicitis, that is the result of chronic food poisoning or really bad food poisoning. And a lot of people end up getting their appendix out on the basis of it being about to rupture. And actually, it's just because you've got an E. coli infection. So, yeah, if you are dealing with that, then it'll be a very similar protocol to what you would do with the strep. I would say you want to get the black seed oil in, you want to have the oil of oregano in, you want to be using sea moss, you want to be using moringa. All of these are good antibacterials. You want to stop eating the sugar, you want to stop eating the fat because these feed those bacteria as well. E. coli can also be the cause of diverticulitis as well, which is where you've got small pockets of E. coli in the intestinal tract as well that can cause severe bloating. So yeah, we need to keep an eye out for those E. coli. Always wash your hands, of course. Be careful who's preparing your food. Yeah, that's what I would say to that one.
There's a quick question. Esme has asked, where can she order butterfly blue tea? Would you be able to tell her, please?
Is she on which platform? TikTok.
After she's outside the UK, I think she is.
Yeah, so if you're based in the UK on TikTok, you can order butterfly blue tea from the website. Sorry, from TikTok shop. And if you cannot see that as an option to be generalized, then you can go to the website. So that would be magictreesuperfoods.com or .co.uk. And there's a search function. You can just search butterfly and it will come up, and there will be your butterfly pea options. And you can use code CRABBY20 to get 20% off. KRABI. Sorry? Oh, right, okay. Website then. All right, 3 more to get through. So I'm gonna be quite light touch on this one because this is probably going to be Sunday's topic. So I didn't actually say this, but for everyone enjoying today's session, we do lives every Sunday and Wednesday for the foreseeable.
Just really quickly, Esme, you can find our website either if you type in Magic Tree Superfoods on Google, or you can go to the link on the bio of the TikTok page.
Links in the bio, yeah. So, what was I saying? Yeah, we do lives every Sunday and Wednesday. They usually kind of follow this format where we'll talk about a topic, not usually this long, and then we usually 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then open it up for some Q&A. We've kind of gone through some of the Q&A as we've been going through. But yeah, that's usually the process, and that's every Sunday and Wednesday, usually around this time, a little bit earlier. Now it's a little bit later than I'd like, but yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm going to briefly touch on this topic because it is a big issue for people, and I think we kind of need to understand what it means in full detail. But it is not enough oxygen. Now that sounds silly. Could you just be like, well, I breathe, so I must get enough oxygen. But that's not what we mean. When you don't have enough oxygen, when you break down sugar, when you break down protein without enough oxygen, it releases toxic byproducts. And these toxic byproducts can feed the strep, they can feed the Epstein Barr, they can feed the shingles, and they can cause bloating and gases and lactic acid and all of the different acidity that we're talking about. So, there's simple things you can do to there's simple things you can do. So if you get your sugars from fruit, that has the ash minerals and vegetables, that has the ash minerals, the potassiums to buffer the acidic side of the chemistry there. So therefore, you do not produce the same acidic byproducts. That's why fruits don't metabolize in the same way that rice does. That's why vegetables don't metabolize in the same way. It has the fiber, it has the antioxidants. That's one thing you can do. You can also move after your meal. So going for a walk, doing a stretch, all of these things will help oxygenate your body after a meal. You can do a hot shower. A hot shower, vasodilation, you get more oxygen into your blood. When we're talking about oxygen, we're talking blood flow, really. So, you want your foods that boost nitric oxide because that dilates your blood vessels. You can do things like Wim Hof's breathing technique. I'm a big fan of that. You can do box breathing. You can reduce the acidity intake because oxygen binds better in alkaline environments. You can boost your lymph flow because that helps oxygen flow around the body better as well. So lots of different things. But we'll be talking about the role of oxygen more generally in the body as it pertains to digestion, as it pertains to antiviral healing, as it pertains to muscle metabolism as well, in the next live session. So stick around or make sure you join for that one because I guarantee you with that session, I hope with this one, but I guarantee you with the next one, you'll definitely learn something. So I recommend joining that one. Okay. And then, sure, that's my plug over. And then emulsifiers. And emulsifiers are a super common ingredient. And it was only actually when I read, I mean, I knew emulsifiers were bad, but it was only when I read ultra processed people that I realized how bad they are and how prevalent they are. Anything that has an artificially smooth taste, which is most processed foods and any sweet treat. Anything that is artificially creamy, it will have emulsifiers. So ice cream, cakes, biscuits, anything that is soft out of a packet will have emulsifiers. And that is really important because what those emulsifiers do, studies have actually found they can trigger Crohn's disease, not cause but trigger Crohn's disease. They're disruptive in the stomach, extremely disruptive. So for anyone dealing with gut health issues, I do strongly recommend you keep an eye out in whatever you're eating for emulsifiers and trying to limit that as much as possible. And the last one that I want to talk about, and I'm sure a lot of people will be disappointed to hear this one last, but it's the parasites. Now, not many people are actually infected with parasites that are causing their gut issues. Yes, some people might have some intestinal worms. Yes, some people might have unproductive bacteria in the system, but not a lot of people have parasites. And if you do, the symptoms are going to be quite aggressive. They're going to be quite abrupt, and you're going to know about it, and they're going to get progressively worse if you do have a parasite. Fasciola is one of the more popular parasites, particularly in the UK. That will usually come with a liver cyst, bad indigestion, bad bloating, bad reaction to when you try and eat foods. Particularly if you've been to North Africa, South Africa, then you may be more at risk of that. Toxocara is another parasite that a lot of people can get. These are different types of fluke but yeah, most people aren't dealing with a parasite, but I just wanted to address that one because a lot of people will come to me saying, oh, I need a parasite cleanse. And it's like, okay, let's take a step back. Let's not blame the parasite straight away. Let's look for a more likely solution. And hey, it might be parasites, but let's look for a more likely solution first. Okay. Well, firstly, thank you everyone for sticking with me through that. Hopefully, it's been useful. Hopefully, you can have learned something in terms of a likely cause of your digestive issues. When I'm talking through topics like this, I do encourage you to almost start self-diagnosing. And I know self-diagnosing is a frowned upon thing to do, but I disagree. I think you obviously don't work yourself into a stress, but you need to be the jury in your own body because no one knows your body as well as you. You need to be able to take all the signs that you're feeling. You need to listen to your body because your body is always giving you information. Every time you feel a pinch, every time you feel a pain, every time you feel every heartbeat is a signal of information for you to receive and respond to and react to. So no one has as many data inputs as you do. So you need to be the person that understands your body the best. And to understand your body the best, you need to have some of this knowledge. And you don't need to understand every single thing, but you need to know if your body's telling you to slow down or speed up or just don't do that. Do that. You need to understand how to speak with your intuition. You need to understand when your body's saying, "Please don't give me any more of this food." You need to understand when your body's screaming out for more of a food. You need to understand, how does a certain food make you feel? How does it make you respond? All of these different things, and that's how you can early diagnose issues as well. People that have a much better relationship with their body know when they're out of whack, they can get their help quicker. They're not scared to get help because they know something's actually wrong. They're not just blind sleepwalking into a diagnosis where it's too late. You're hot, you're early onto things where it can actually be helped and reversed. So, all that to say, you need to be the master of your own body. And I can help, and I can give you the advice, I can give you the information, but hopefully, if you are someone suffering from the bloating or the constipation, you're listening through and you're thinking, okay, maybe not my vagus nerve based off what you said, okay, could be my liver, okay, I could probably, yeah, I am eating a lot of those acid forming foods, that could be the problem. So let me maybe rein that in. And that's how I would encourage you to use these lives. That's what the questions are for. But yeah, as I say, it's 20 past two where I am, so I'm not going to be on for much longer. I know there have been some questions, and I know you and me, if you're still with us, I owe you an answer on low iron, so I'm going to do that. And then Jade, I don't know if there's any other question. Well, I mean, there's definitely going to be some questions, but I will probably answer three or four questions, and then we can, yeah, wrap it up for today's session and move on to Sundays if there's any other questions I haven't answered. But yeah, if you could just, if there are any ones, if you could just have a look out for me, please, whilst I answer A and me. Thank you for waiting if you are still here. So for low iron, what should I do? So if your iron is chronically low, there's lots of different reasons it could be. It could be you're a heavy bleeder from fibromyosis, from fibroids or endometriosis. It could be that you are have a low grade viral issue. It could be that you're not eating enough iron, unlikely, but could be that. It could be you're lacking other minerals, stopping you from processing the iron. It could be that you're drinking too much wine, so you're not able to use the iron. It could be that you're drinking coffee before you take your iron in, so you're not using your iron there. It could be, lots of different things. So, if it's the type of thing where you've been told you're iron deficient, you take the iron tablets, and maybe you feel better for a week or two, and then you feel iron deficient again, then the first thing I would suspect is and assuming you're female, the first thing I would expect is you are a heavy bleeder. And then I would say get checked for fibroids. I would say get checked for endometriosis. That would be the first thing I would do. Assuming that if that came back, I'd recommend a fibroids kit. If that came back, no fibroids, no endometriosis, then I would say I'd expect you have a low grade viral issue. Then I would recommend our anti-herpes kit because that really does go after all viral issues. So I would recommend that. Then, if you are alongside that in both those situations, I would recommend our blood builder kit. Now, our blood builder kit contains Dong Quai, is packed in ferulic acid, which is a fantastic blood builder. I would recommend Shilajit. as it helps to build blood. I'd recommend milk thistle as it regenerates the liver, which was one of your blood factories. And I'd recommend moringa as it's a blood filter as well. So all of these different solutions help, one, to help you build new blood quickly, and two, helps to go after the underlying symptom to prevent that blood loss. I wouldn't take iron supplements. I wouldn't eat red meat because all that's going to do is give the viruses an unfettered source of heme iron, which can be easily used by the virus. Okay.
Someone suffering with quite bad anxiety, what would you recommend?
Yeah, so for anxiety, there could be a couple of different issues. It could be heavy metals in the brain that essentially heat up the brain and can create anxiety from the heat itself. You've got to think metals are conductors, and what happens when you put electricity through a conductor? It heats up. And it can also rust as well, particularly if you've got a high fat diet, or a lot of people that have anxiety get told to eat a high fat keto diet. Now, the problem with that is it can oxidize those heavy metals in the brain and make the situation worse and damage nearby brain tissue. It can also be caused from the viruses we've spoken about, the Epstein-Barr virus, the shingles virus. What they can do is create neurotoxins that can also combine with the metals to again create more heat and pressure inside the brain. So for you, I would recommend our heavy metals cleanse kit, which is spirulina, moringa, shilajit, and sea moss. That helps to chelate the heavy metals out of your body and brain. And then I would also recommend lion's mane and brahmi because these are the best to repair your brain cells. They help to grow new brain cells and they help to repair your nerves, the nerves themselves that have been damaged. And they also help to buffer your cortisol and adrenaline because if you are anxious, then when you get anxious, you release adrenaline, and that adrenaline is more fuel to the fire that then burns the metals hotter, and it creates this awful cycle. So yeah, I would recommend the heavy metals kit plus the lion's mane and the brahmi.
What to take for an overactive thyroid?
So for an overactive thyroid, you still want your iodine strong. It's not a case of block all the iodine. At least that's not what I believe. So you can use sea moss, you can use Brazil nuts are good options. The selenium's helpful. You can use black seed oil because that goes after the underlying Epstein-Barr virus that's causing the hyperthyroidism. Because in response to the virus, your thyroid grows new tissue to try and encase the virus, and that's where that additional thyroid tissue and I guess hormones come from. We also have a thyroid kit as well, which I'd recommend. That's available on the website. If you go to the website, specialist kits, then you can check it out there. With the website, we've actually changed it in the last few days. We've tried to make the navigation more straightforward so that you can search by condition, you can search by herb, you can search by the kit itself. But hopefully it's a more straightforward way for you to get all the information. So yeah, if you go to the website and then you go to heal, I think it is, then you can get all the different kits. But for that, I would recommend a thyroid kit.
Someone also mentioned you should try purple shampoo to get rid of your yellow-orange tones in your hair.
Okay.
Someone said, what's the best water for the body to drink if you could not get it from fruit or veg?
The best water you can drink if you cannot get it from fruit or veg, I guess that would just be a spring water. All right, I'll start wrapping up, and then if there's any other questions that come through, you can probably see the tiredness on my face now. But yeah, I'll start wrapping up, and then if there's any other questions that come through, I'll happily answer them. So Clarabelle, just seeing your question. The MAI code still works. So actually, I didn't pin the code on Facebook, so let me do that for you.
I'll put it in the chat.
All right. So I've just put the new code in, so you can use this code Krabby20, and you can use that to get 20% off everything on the website, including the personal services as well. And then I'm just gonna scroll here. Cool. Okay. Cool. So Yeah. I'm gonna start wrapping up, and then if anyone's got any questions, now's the time to get them in, or forever hold your peace, or
High blood pressure and hypertension.
high blood pressure. Okay, so for high blood pressure, Brazil nuts, walnuts is always the first case. You know, if it's not extremely high blood pressure, if it's borderline, then Brazil nuts and walnuts can be really beneficial. They also help to bring cholesterol down, which could be a root cause of your high blood pressure. And then they also help prevent any diabetes, which is commonly associated with high cholesterol and high blood pressure as well. So that's what I would start with. Ashwagandha is also really good for bringing the blood pressure down because it suppresses cortisol production. So ashwagandha is also available on the website, and then you can also use moringa as well. It's also really good for blood pressure, and so is black seed oil. So I'd probably say ashwagandha, black seed oil, and moringa for blood pressure. I really don't think blood pressure is one of those ones you need medication for unless it's extreme because you can just bring it down naturally so easily. If you just cut out the fats, and if you just or transition your fats from animal protein to nuts and avocado, and then just don't eat a lot of the sugary processed foods, don't eat a lot of the oily foods, and then just do the Brazil nuts, do the walnuts, do the herbs, and the blood pressure will come down. Um, yeah.
Fabulous, thank you.
Okay. So yeah, just want to say thank you everyone for joining today. Um, uh, Great to see such worldwide engagement. That makes me really happy. I have spoken about gut health today, lots of different gut health issues, all the different causes. Hopefully, it's kind of laid a framework out for you to start to begin self-diagnosing, for you to understand what might be causing your issues, what's not causing your issues as well, which is more important. Probably not parasites, guys. And then, yeah, hopefully that kind of gives you a bit more information to start your own journey. You know, everyone has to start somewhere. And if this has been the guide today to help you to start, then fantastic. In terms of housekeeping points, so like this isn't really a housekeeping point, but the next live will be on Sunday. It's Wednesday
Sunday.
today. It will be on Sunday. We're probably going to be talking about oxygen, of the role of oxygen inside the body. So a bit of a different topic. And it's definitely going to be an interesting one because oxygen comes into antiviral defense. Oxygen comes into acidosis inside the body, chronic healing, chronic disease, how you digest everything. Chronic oxygen comes into all cellular functions. So something we definitely need to understand and talk about, and more importantly, understand how to oxygenate your system as well is really important. In terms of the herbs and the website, so yes, we've got the discount code Krabi20, Krabi 20. You can use that on the website for 20% off. You can also use on TikTok, that code is auto applied. So it's going to last for the next few hours. So you can use that code after this live. On Instagram, that code will be live for the rest of the evening. So take advantage of that. It will be available for consultations as well. We're only really, I mean, November's pretty booked up for consultations now. If it's a real urgent case, I can open up some emergency slots, but generally it's kind of backed up till December now. But if you did want to book a consultation, then you can do that. You can use a discount code as well, where I'm literally giving it away at that price. It'd literally be like forty pounds, I think, for maybe 45 pounds for a consultation. And you're gonna get. Let me not even say that, but yeah, okay. So yeah, consultations are available, booked up for pretty much the rest of November, but you can get it from December. And if it's urgent, we can make emergency appointments. We're talking about discount codes. Yeah, in terms of trying to get in contact with us, if you have DM'd us, particularly on Instagram, in the last couple of weeks, then I apologize. It's practically impossible for us to respond to all of the DMs. There's just too many. We are looking to expand the team. We're looking to bring on more solutions to help to get back to all the questions. Because I know it's not in our benefit to not answer the questions, so I want to get all the questions answered. It's just practically not possible for me and for Jade and I right now. But we are looking to expand the team. We are looking to kind of filter so we can actually see everything because a lot of the stuff is just rubbish as well, which clogs up the inbox. So actually, if anyone does know anyone interested, that would be look that. If anyone does know anyone that would be interested in working with us, then please do send an
Get in
email
touch.
to info@magictreesuperfoods.co.uk. That'd be greatly appreciated. And yeah, there are roles going. So
I've got the thing in.
yeah, thank you. So yeah, do that. And we are also got some new kits. I know I say this every week. We will have some new kits launching. We want to launch the autism kit. We want to launch the ADHD kit. We want to launch the kidney cleanse kit. Those are probably the three most in-demand kits right now. The prostate kit as well, be coming soon. It is just relentless right now in terms of all the work, especially ahead of Black Friday, trying to get everything ready. So it will be coming probably in the next couple of weeks. We can put the protocols together. So, if you're looking at a protocol on the website and you can't see it, that doesn't mean we don't have it. It just means it might not be published yet. So do send a message. The best way to get in contact with us right now, and I can say this because the guys, everyone that's lasted this far, who's come along the journey for the last hour, I appreciate you. So yeah, message through the website chat function. It's the same people responding. It's going to be Jade or I, but it is just a lot quicker. We don't have hundreds of messages to filter through on the website. So if you sent a DM that hasn't been responded to, if
Send it
you
again.
have, no, don't send it again. Send a message through the chat function. If you send a message on TikTok, it's very difficult to respond. They don't really let us respond to you.
Yeah,
So
it will literally just say you can't respond to the person.
yeah,
So yeah, don't message us on TikTok. Message us on our other channels.
so yeah, please do send a message via the chat function on the website, or failing that, an email is fine. Um, I think that's everything. So yeah, we'll be back on Sunday with talking about oxygen, the role of oxygen. If you have any questions in the interim, send a message on the website. If you have a question that I haven't answered in the chat today, I'm sorry, send a message on the website or join on Sunday and ask it again. But yeah, no, appreciate everyone for joining. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the community's growing. It's a really exciting time to be part of Mandatory right now. So yeah, just a massive thank you to everyone for taking in the knowledge and yeah, being with us on the journey. Appreciate it.
Thanks everyone.
All
Take
right.
care.